Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We're playing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, or A2, I guess. Advance 2. For the DS. I was recording a Let's Play of this like 5 months ago, and then I went on a hiatus, but now I'm getting back into it because I know I'm going to be recording it, or uploading it sometime soon. Fairly. More soon than like Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance or something. Anyways. It was a pretty wild week, I would say. Let's see. Well, for one, I am streaming this from my high-end new computer that, if you recall from last week, I had dumped a bottle of Coke into. I had given it to my brother to sort of see if he could do anything for it. And I was prepared realistically to just write it off completely and whatever. And anything better than that was a plus. And, you know, if it ended up being like, oh, you know, the processor's fried or the graphics card is fried or whatever, it's... I guess I can just replace that. Otherwise, if everything's gone, I'll just buy a new computer in like 6 months. And so on like Wednesday, he had texted me and he's like, I've got it to boot to BIOS. I was like, well, wow, it's pretty good. What did you do? And all he had done really is just taken it sort of apart and cleaned it. He had just like wiped off some stuff, especially apparently my hard drive, my main hard drive was like covered in goop. And he had cleaned all the contacts for like all the RAM and things like that. And so he'd gotten to boot to BIOS, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the computer back and we'll see if it, you know, goes beyond that. So he put it all back together. Brought it home, booted it up. It all seemed fine. But, you know, with water damage, liquid damage, there could be like a lot of little things that just sort of glitch out, or, you know, some small things don't work anymore, you know, who knows what. I'm like, okay, I was, you know, when you boot it up and everything that happens is like, is that how it's supposed to happen? Is that what's supposed to happen? Should it be this slow? What is going on? But it all seemed pretty normal. So I wanted to do something a little bit more intensive, so I booted up Skyrim and ran around for a little while. Nothing seemed to be a problem. Okay, that's pretty good. I booted up Monster Hunter World. I played that for like an hour, and there were no problems. And I was like, well, that's pretty good. And then I left it on overnight, and I woke up and it wasn't like turned off or anything, so that's good. And there hasn't been a single problem that I've seen since. So, full recovery. Despite my my realistic approach to this situation. it worked out fine. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty happy. It's nice. I got lucky there. You know, it was a very foolish, stupid mistake, but I got lucky. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I also went through the mortgage pre-approval process this week, which was a new thing for me. And there's a lot of options for like mortgages now. And my aunt recommended to check out Rocket Mortgage, which is a subsidiary or something of Quicken, which is like the biggest, or they're got to be one of the biggest. The thing that was nice about Rocket Mortgage was like it was entirely online. It was very easy. Super easy. Maybe too easy. Hard to say. But yeah, I went through the Rocket Mortgage process. And initially I asked for quite a bit. I asked enough for basically a nice house. And it ended up turning out that that was not realistic. I mean, that's the thing when you like suddenly come into a higher income. Trying to get a mortgage, they base it off your previous couple years of income. And so with, you know, YouTube and this SCP boom that I've been experiencing, that boom is really only reflected in like my bank account, not on any sort of tax statements yet. Not till next year. So if I waited till next year, I could have gotten a much larger mortgage. Because it would be reflected in my tax statements. But my last couple of years have been a low-end YouTube income, to say the least. So they ended up pre-approving me for more than I thought they probably should, purely based on my previous income statement. But basically, they did not approve me for enough for me to get a house at this point. I mean, I could get a house of some questionable structure, but not really any house that I would want to leave my current house for, my parents' house for. So I was just like, okay. And they were like, well, you could get someone to co-sign. It's like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, okay. Then, you know, just adapt. We gotta react, adapt, and all that stuff. And so then I'm like, okay, well, can I get pre-approved then for a condo mortgage for like half the amount? And so that's what I ended up having. I got pre-approved for a decent amount that will allow me to get a decent condo. Basically, I'm hoping to get pretty much the same condo as like my brother has. Because I think that'll work for like a year or two. So yeah, I got pre-approved, all good. So then the work was involved in just finding a place. And so I thought there was a few openings in my brother's like condo neighborhood. I was like, okay, I can just go for one of these. Done. But then I learned that they were all contingent, which means they're all pretty much like about to sell. It's just contingent on like a few. They have interested buyer. It's too late. Because these condos apparently go pretty quickly. So that bummed me out. So I was hoping it would just be nice, quick, done, ready to go. But I saw a place much closer to where I am currently, and I was like, okay, that could be good. It was a little higher than I wanted to spend, but doable. And so I was like, okay, let's go see the place. So we go see the place. It was nice. It was somewhat renovated. It was certainly livable. I'm really not that picky. So it was not like unacceptable to me, but my brother was like, well, for one, my brother wants me to live. He and his wife want me to live near them, which is understandable. And he said, you really should not just automatically go with the first place you see, which I understand the logic of. It's just I really don't like this process that much. And especially I don't like all like talking on the phone with strangers and all the like the little rules and the processes and things that go along with putting in bids and doing inspection. It's just I hate it all. And so I was pretty much ready to just put a bid in and be like, okay, hopefully I get this place and I can just be done with this process. But my brother was trying to talk me out of it, and I was like, well, why don't you just take care of this for me then? I'll pay you to take care of this whole situation for me if you care that much. And so that's what happened. He agreed to take care of the situation. He became my real estate manager, so to speak. So he has a realtor that he's really friends with, that he's very familiar with, that he's going to be working with on my behalf. I think he really is just trying to get me a place in his neighborhood, which, like I said, is perfectly fine with me, if he can manage that. And he's going to handle everything. All I have to do is just go look at places and then sign something at the end. So, works for me. And he'll probably end up getting me as good of a price as he can. He's good with numbers and stuff like that. He cares about all that. And hopefully he doesn't take too long, though. Not that there's like I'm on a timetable here or anything like that, but I'm in that moving mode right now, so it would be nice. I started like building an Amazon list of things to buy for a new home. That's been pretty exciting. And I've decided that when I move, I'm going to get another cat. They wanted me for my birthday last month. Some of my family members were actually going to surprise me with a kitten. And I had no idea until they told me that they decided not to do it. And the reason they decided not to do it was because my mom shot it down. And really, once I heard, I was like, no, thank God you did not give me another kitten. That would be a terrible idea. Because my reasoning was that one of my cats is really territorial. I mean, both of my cats right now, I just took out of like the woods near my house and got them fixed and everything, and just I rescued them. They're rescues, if you will. So they're both a little insane as far as like territory is concerned. If they ever see another cat like outside the window, they just go far more ballistic than I would expect. And so I'm like, I just don't think I could bring in a new kitten into that sort of home. So I was happy they did not surprise me with a kitten. But over the last month, I thought about it. And one of my cats, the older one, he's not in as perfect medical condition as I would like him to be. And really, he's always had problems with, like, I think he has like an ulcer or something. I'm not sure. He tends to throw up a lot. And so it's been getting kind of worried. I think we're going to take him to a vet, but I don't know how long he has on this planet. And so I thought it would be nice to have another cat. I don't know. I don't know. It's they're gonna be in a quieter household, perhaps a more lonely household, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess I just want another cat. I can throw out reasons all day. So yeah. So I don't know when this moving process is all gonna happen, but it should be pretty soon. I certainly would have liked a house. Most people would. But the condo will suffice. I'm probably going to have some soundproofing done. Especially in, like, wherever I do recording and stuff, like a studio. That's going to have to be soundproofed. Yeah. I guess that's it. Moving on then. This week on this channel, we finished up Final Fantasy 15. And last night we started, or we recontinued, I don't know if that's a word, but we continued Final Fantasy 3. So there's like 2 more episodes of that. And then we'll be done with the main Final Fantasy series. So I'll put out a video this coming week of my... Hold on. Of my rankings of the Final Fantasy series, the main series. So that should be an interesting video to some. And then I think we'll probably be moving into Mystic Quest and then a Final Fantasy Tactics game. I think we sort of just want to be all done with all Final Fantasy related stuff. And then I'll be happy. We also we started Fell Seal. So that'll go on for a little while. There's a good number of videos there. And that's pretty much it. Rage 2 comes out on Tuesday. I'm not planning to LP it. I think we're pretty good where we're at with LPs for now. And that's kind of it. I mean, there's nothing else. It's the summer drought, so I'm glad I found Fell Seal, because otherwise we would just be doing like a lot of retro stuff. I guess that's it. This week on the Exploring series, we had Dr. Clef, which performed fairly well, pretty well, and you can throw a bow? Why would you want to throw a bow? How could that do any... Okay. Dr. Clef did pretty well, and then I released a video on the Tau, and that went over pretty well. I think the Tau was performing like the best of any of my 40K videos for the first couple days, so that was good. And this week I worked on a video on SCP-1548, the Star, the Hateful. Which is not the Hateful Star. It has nothing to do with the Hateful Star. The only reason they kept the similar name was because it was in the same slot as the Hateful Star, which was deleted. And it has to do with a star. But it is not a Hateful Star. It's the opposite, actually. I was pretty happy with how the video turned out. And early feedback from like patrons and stuff has been very positive. Like more positive than I thought it would be. So that's pretty exciting. I hope it's a big hit. This has been a bit of a slump couple weeks. Oh, hold on. Okay. Where were we? What was I talking? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a slump week for apparently a bunch of YouTubers. I just assumed like these little dips happen once in a while and YouTube is just not recommending stuff and it's just whatever. But some of the other SCP YouTubers were talking in Discord about it being like the slowest month of the year or something for YouTube. I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. I don't know why that would be. I don't know anything. But yes, it has been a lesser few weeks. So it'd be nice to have a nice big hit. A very good video that's a big hit. That's all I know. I guess that's all there is to say. This coming week, what am I working on? I think Daleport, which has been an oft requested SCP. Yes, at this point it looks to be Daleport. So that should be fun. Another sort of creepy town. Can't get enough of those. Yes. That's all there is to say about that. Bloodborne. The Bloodborne Kickstarter I talked about last week. That has still been blowing up. Well, I mean, more slowly blowing up, but still pretty blown. It's at $3.46 million. Which, let me look what the record is. Oh yeah, not even close. Kingdom Death Monster 1.5 was $12.4 million. I'm talking about the record for a board game. That's an insane amount of money. And part of that was due to Kingdom Death Monster. Like, the base pledge was very high. Like 400 or something like that. Whereas the base pledge for Bloodborne is 100. So they've been... I mean, they've been throwing a lot more stretch goals out there. Not a lot more. It's definitely slowed. But the amount of stuff that I'm going to be receiving when this comes out is insane. Just absolutely insane. It's... God, this Kickstarter page takes like 30 minutes to load with all these images. So if you just pledge $100, at this point, you get 116 miniatures for that $100, which is pretty insane. The base game, just the base game, comes with 28 enemies, 5 bosses, 4 hunters. Then this Chalice Dungeon... like mode comes with an extra 26 enemies, 4 bosses, 3 hunters. Then the Kickstarter exclusive, like, just random stuff they've thrown in there as part of the base pledge. You get another 18 enemies, 1 boss, 5 hunters, 8 chests, 5 lamps. And then they also throw in the Murgo's Loft campaign for free with the base pledge, which is another 8 enemies and a boss. So 116 miniatures is part of that $100, which is already pretty nuts. But now they have 6 optional buys. Basically 6 extra boxes. And they now have, and I'm glad they did, it saved me money. And they didn't even have to do this, because honestly I would have pledged for everything at the regular price as it is. But now they have this thing where you can get all the optional buys, all 6 of them, for a $30 discount. So it's $250 for all the optional buys together, which is what I did. And like I said, I would have done it without the $30 discount, so good. So all the optional buys come with an extra, oh God, 38, another 70 miniatures, another 70 enemies, and another like 8 bosses. Oh, and another 7 hunter enemies. It's like over 200 miniatures I'm going to be getting. But it's like, it's pretty much all of Bloodborne that you would care about. Like, it's pretty much everything. You Forbidden Woods, Forsaken Canehurst Castle, Hunter's Dream, Upper Cathedral Ward, Yahargul Unseen Village, Bergenworth, Murgo's Loft, Chalice Dungeons. What is the only thing I'm missing? There's... God, what is it called? The fucking witch place. Why? Oh my god, I gotta play Bloodborne again. What is that area called? The witches. The Hemwick Grove, right? Hemwick Charnel Lane, that's it. Hemwick Charnel Lane. That's my favorite area in the game. I think that's part of maybe the base or something. One of these things... Oh, the Forbidden Woods has two of the witches as bosses in it. So I think the Forbidden Woods might be combined with like Charnel Lane. But still, yeah, it's pretty much everything that you would want. The only thing that's really missing is all the DLC stuff. And maybe that'll come later. I don't know. I would certainly like a fishing village box. But I think this is it for like the optional buys. They're definitely, it's got like 1 or 2 days left. They're definitely winding down these stretch goals. So that's probably going to be it. But still, it's an insane amount of stuff. I figure this is like my board game budget for like 3 years here. I'm just going to buy this one board game and just be done with it. So yeah, hopefully it's a decent game, but otherwise you'll still have like 200 miniatures to put on a shelf. Multiple shelves. Many shelves. And on roll manging this week, we continued Tatters the King. With the Gaines family. And so we had checked out that asylum. Some weird stuff going on at the asylum. Uh-oh, 4 points of damage. Oh, she's using a kunai. Oh, but still, this is going to be a very rough battle. Damn it. A little better. But I can't use MP. Great. So there wasn't much we could do at the asylum without committing a crime. So we had decided to go to the police station. Holy shit. That is insane. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely not powerful enough for this. Unless I summon Ifrit and break the law. So we went to the police station. We found out some info. Not a whole lot, but something. we went back home. And there was I ended up getting knuckle tattoos across all of my knuckles of the yellow sign. I thought that was pretty badass. And Big went to a travel agent to ask about Taiwan, as maybe it's located in the Orient. But they assumed that I had misheard and was thinking of Taiwan, which Big admitted was a possibility. And I think we went to visit the Roby family doctor. So the doctor for the guy that was locked in the asylum, and none of his family wanted him to be let out, including this family doctor. So we wanted to go talk to him. This is the inmate that had committed murder, or had confessed to murder, even though the police did not actually convict him of any crime because they didn't have enough evidence that he had actually done it. So there's a lot of oddities going on. Actually, well, now I'm probably dead, but this might have been doable if I had just used magic from the start and just not given a shit about the rules. The rules! So we paid a visit to the doctor. We didn't really learn that much. There's a lot of grasping at straws, and we're not entirely sure what to do. We then heard that there had been another murder at the asylum, very similar to the other one. Because there's this other creepy little dude in the asylum that had apparently witnessed the murder. These murders occurred right outside of his cell, and he had talked about the devil doing the murders, and like the devil was cutting himself as he cut on the person, and he's very crazy. And him and the main asylum dude both talked about the King in Yellow a bunch. So we paid another visit to the asylum. We talked our way in past the police and blah, blah, blah. And we poked around, and we still did not learn that much. We have no idea what's causing these murders. We have no idea what's going on with the King in Yellow, with these insane patients. We're very lost. So we left again, and we went home. And as we arrived back home, we get out of the car, and I think we were going to go pay another visit to the family doctor for some reason. Get out of the car, and we see some guy in the road, like, staring at us. That don't play too well. So Big just immediately chased after this guy. I chased him into an alley, and he pulled out like a knife in self-defense, but I literally just like smashed his face into a wall. It was glorious. I got a little cut up, but still, I beat him to within an inch of his life. But he was still alive, thankfully. And so we were going to take him into our house and interrogate him ourselves. But Ziggy knew that would not bode well for his plot. So there happened to be a constable that had overheard the sound and had poked in. And so we told some of the truth, because he had pulled out a knife, he had cut me, but we had just said that he was a burglar that had been trying to break into our house. And so the police took him in. We went down to the police station, and we learned that this guy, well, there had been a murder in the park very recently that happened to be, the victim happened to be the family doctor that we had been just talking to. What a coincidence. And a young boy had seen the suspect, the criminal, and now he successfully identified him as the guy that I had beat up. So I stopped, I found a murderer and I apprehended him. So that was pretty good. And so Big was talking to the boy, the witness, and the boy was like fidgeting with something in his hands, and I'm like, you know, what have you got there? And he shows me this bone, like this bone whistle that he had found that the criminal had apparently been wearing but dropped or something like that. And so I took it and I blew into it because it was a whistle. Why wouldn't I blow into it? And this caused a commotion of some sort. Apparently something was on the roof of the police station, and the police were becoming very agitated. They grabbed their firearms. They went to the roof. We heard screaming and gunshots, a lot of commotion, but we didn't go up there to check. Now, I suspect at this point that this was, in a meta way, of course, that this was some sort of whistle to summon a Byakhee. I believe it's Byakhee, right? Or is that Shantak? I can never remember. No, it's Byakhee. Shantak is Nyarlathotep, right? Yeah. Right. And then Night Gaunt is Nodens. Yeah. It's these different Cthulhu Mythos gods that each have their like flying servants. So yeah, Night Gaunt serve Nodens, Shantak serve Nyarlathotep, Byakhee serve Hastur. And so of course, in a meta sense, I know that this is a Hastur campaign, and we've heard the name Hastur already in the campaign. And I know Byakhee serve Hastur as like his flying messengers and transportation and things like that. And so I'm like, okay, well, this whistle probably summoned a Byakhee. But we left without seeing the Byakhee. And we went to the family doctor. Or no, we went to his house because he was dead. He was dead. He had died. He was murdered. We went to his house to poke around. And his maid was there, or whatever. And she told us that the doctor, before he went on his walk in the park, had written a letter and that she was supposed to send to us. So she gave it to us. And we all read this letter, which was very difficult to decipher. But it did provide some new names and some new leads that would help us in our mystery of some people to talk to that might know what the hell is going on. And we searched his old office and things like that, but we didn't really find anything. And we're like, okay, well, we've got new leads. So that's pretty good. And so Big stepped outside. And he's still curious about this whistle. Like, I know, and Big knows, that blowing that whistle caused some sort of commotion at the police station. But the question on Big's mind would be, why did this guy, this criminal, why did he have this whistle? There has to be some sort of purpose that assists him. Otherwise, why would he have this whistle that just causes some monster to kill him? That would be really stupid. It has to be beneficial to him in some way, right? I think it's logical. And in fact, I have no doubt that it is beneficial to him, or was beneficial to him in some way. I have no doubt of that out of game. So I had Big blow the whistle outside. And sure enough, a Byakhee came down. And there was some sanity damage, which I expected. But then the Byakhees just started, like, attacking me. Just immediately. And so, of course, Big fought back, because that's what Big would do. He wouldn't run. And I ended up grappling this thing, because I have 99 grapple. That's what I do. But, of course, if you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, and you've ever grappled like a dragon, you know that it's just going to take you up into the sky, and then your troubles start. And that's what happened. This thing started flying away. I was hoping I would weigh it down enough, because Big is massive, that it would struggle. Or I could, like, pin its wings or something, but none of these things happened. It just flew away. And at a certain point, if I had let go, I would just die. So I'm like, okay, I'll hold on. Maybe it'll take me to the moon or something. Or it'll take me to Carcosa. And I tried, like, showing this thing my knuckles, because they all have the yellow sign. It was like, maybe it only reacts if you have the yellow sign or something like that. But it didn't do anything. So then I tried blowing the whistle some more to try and disorient it or something. But all that did was bring in some more Byakhee. They all flooded around me, and they all started eating me. And then I died. And I think Studs was really upset by this, that I did something so utterly stupid. I mean, for the record, Studs has never played Call of Cthulhu, okay? This is the shit that happens in Call of Cthulhu. And I said, we had 1 death in 2 sessions. If we can keep that up, that's really good. That's a really good rate. Doing pretty much anything in Call of Cthulhu is going to leave you either insane or dead. And I was down to like 17 sanity or something like that. Like, I was a lost cause from character creation. But, I mean, the point remains that this guy had this whistle for a reason. And I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that it might be beneficial to us as well. Now, yeah, maybe when the thing showed up and started to attack me, I should have just ran. But, come on, Big would not do that. He wouldn't. He would try and punch this thing. So, like I said, I knew Big was fucked from character creation. And it was just a matter of time. There's no way to... I mean, we hadn't even gotten into the insane shit yet. The sanity damage was going to really start adding up. He could maybe have survived another session if he was lucky and we didn't encounter, too much crazy shit. But, yeah, like, sanity, it's, like I said, Studs has never played Call of Cthulhu, so I will forgive him his ignorance, his naivete of the way things work. I think Big had a pretty successful Call of Cthulhu career by my standards. So then I rolled up another character, and I don't remember his exact stats off the top of my head, but he ended up being, like, very intelligent and highly educated. And I think also he had like a 15 strength or something like that. And so I decided, okay, this is going to be like Grandpa Gaines. And so I bumped up his age to 72. Because if you keep increasing your age, you get a higher education. So his education is like 22 or something nuts like that. It's really high. And so he's going to be like a business magnate of some type. He's going to have like a 90 credit rating, and he's super educated. He's going to speak a bunch of languages, and we'll see how that goes. He has a much higher sanity, which is good. It's very good. But yeah, I mean, that's a Call of Cthulhu campaign. Unless your DM is really nice, which, for better or for worse, Ziggy is not. You're gonna run through characters in Call of Cthulhu, even if you play incredibly cautious. If you're going into these situations, you're gonna get fucked up. That's how the game. It's a meat grinder. Unless you have a nice DM and that wants to run it more like Indiana Jones or something. Much more pulpy. I have no regrets. He got to grapple Byakhee as it took off into the sky. I think that's pretty good for a Call of Cthulhu character. But we'll see. We'll see how things pick up tomorrow as the Gaines family continues investigating some weird shit. I suppose that's about it. We're actually going to end under an hour here. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. No. Not that I can really think of. So, check out the 1548 video tomorrow. I hear it's pretty good. We've got the rest of Final Fantasy III this week and my rankings of Final Fantasy games, as well as some more Fell Seal. But my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.